Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Sunday. Oops, hold on. I have to do a thing and make sure. Yes, there we go. I fixed that. Hi, everybody. How we doing? It's Sunday night. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax. Welcome to the channel. Tonight, it's Witcher Road's Home, Season 4, Episode 5. We're going to go around, let everybody introduce themselves, say who they are playing, and say one thing they think about
Lord
Gimner.
of the Flies.
Well,
No.
Gimner.
Gimner. Gimner. We'll hold off discussion of mid 20th century literature for the next colloquium. It's added to the list of things that I've got.
Excellent.
I have an actual list over here of things that we will discuss at our next colloquium when we get
We'll
to
just
it.
do it during the Thanksgiving break.
I mean, that's not fair. We should do, okay, we'll put that you heard it here first, guys. We're going to do it during Thanksgiving break. So why don't we go around and let everyone introduce themselves, who they're going to find, who they are, who they're playing, and one thing they're thinking about for Gimner at the moment. So why don't we start with directly below me on the overlay with Trooper. Hi, Trooper. How are you? How are we feeling?
Hi. I am feeling, you know, I'm feeling so good. By the way, I'm Trooper SJP, in case you don't know it. I'm feeling really good. I am feeling a little bad for the chat, though, because they don't get to hang out in the green room and hear the things we talk about, which are always so excellent in every way. And, that's just a thing. Just a thing that's sad for them. But I'm doing really well. I'm very excited. I'm really excited for today's session for reasons that are, you know what it is? I feel like Tony in West Side Story, and I'm like, could be, who knows, something's coming. Like I'm at that moment where I just feel like some great things are coming, and those great things are probably going to be murder, death, blood, violence, but dramatics. Very excited about it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the question is, I'm going to take this as, what does Math think of Gimner? And Math is like, Math doesn't really think about Gimner because Gimner is not important enough for Math to think about. He finds Gimner, I mean, you try to murder a bunch of people. What's that? Here's the thing. He doesn't care about Gimner at all, but he does care that somebody who's not Gimner, if it were Gimner, he'd care, but it wasn't Gimner, so he doesn't care. Somebody has gone against the natural order and somehow done some kind of necromantic situation on Baldwin, who was a fellow druid, and he is not going to have that. He's not going to have it. Also, somebody's clearly messing with the natural order by like stirring up and somehow controlling necrophages. Also not going to have that. So he's much more interested in whoever has done this thing to Baldwin. And clearly that's not Gimner, because Gimner was not nearly important or interesting enough. Yeah, sure, he poisoned some people, but whatever. They weren't him, so he doesn't care. That's where he's at. Yeah, because he is a little self-centered. I know that's a shocking thing to say, and I know that nobody would have guessed that about him at all. But he also thinks that Gimner really should have been more respectful to him, but he understands that Gimner is not really smart enough or connected enough to realize how important math is. But
Or you're just a crappy human and he doesn't care about you because you're beneath him. As a dwarf, he's inherently better. I mean, they were here first and you stole it from them.
who would think that? I mean,
Most dwarves.
I
Didn't say all. I said most.
I just feel like dwarves who understand that he's a druid, would appreciate him. If you don't appreciate him, you just aren't educated enough. That's all.
I mean, I feel like that's an entitled statement right there.
Oh, have you met Mav?
Yes, by the way, I have. And if you check out the videos on this channel, you will actually find a highlight I put together of the Lord Math experience.
The Lord Math experience. Math, thy name is entitled indeed. Entitled, yep. A tad narcissistic, and also, and also kind of ignorant. You know what I mean? Yeah.
In all the ways.
In all the ways.
But someone who is not ignorant of at least the social mores that belong in Mahakam is Ardzo. Hey Billy, how are you? How's life going for you over in the
Definitely ignorant to this stuff that's going on in Mahakam. But
Really?
Arzo is not. Well, he's been out of the loop, so he's got an idea. He can put his finger on it. Let's see.
How is Ardzo feeling about Gimner? Or thinking about Gimner?
I'm trying to mold the precise words because, like, all right, so we heard troops say murder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think murder is going to happen. I feel like the dwarves have a much more complex, because no one the attempt was made, no one actually died. So I feel there's going to be like a dissolution of a lot of stuff and maybe some exile. I don't feel like there's going to be um, an execution, at least on the official side of things. What other people may do, like off the record, um, I won't be able to say. And I think Arzo, I think that, and I think Arzo thinks that as well.
I think there's gonna be so much stabbing, but go on.
I mean, there could be a lot of. I mean, I guess it really depends on how many times the word unclean is used.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. That's his 2 cents, and my
That's your
2 cents. That's our 4 cents.
Your 4 cents?
Yeah.
Your 4 cents of what's going to happen?
4 cents of the dollar of my opinion, because our opinions, Arjo's and mine. We're not people in power in this situation, so they're worth about 4 cents, if that.
You heard it here, folks. It turns out Billy is psychic. He has 4 cents. It's confirmed. Confirmed.
It's like a Russian doll situation because the 4 cents is inside my 5 head.
That's all that deserved.
Behind that's my third eye. So there's a 3. And then I have my 2 eyes. And then I'll think the one brain cell. The one rusty, like, bicycle wheel brain cell that the hamster fell off of a long time ago.
This is why we love all of my friends. Pope, how are you? How are you doing? How does Durin think or feel about Gimner, I guess, is the question.
Doing well. Hey everybody, Pope here, Pope Global on Twitter, Pope Global on Twitch. I work on your streams. Good to be back here with the Witcher crew, playing during the Rasby, both of us use human pronouns. And Durin thinks Gimner is a symptom. There is something like this does not happen within Dwarven society on a lark. This is old rot, and it needs to be found out. And as to exile, for some of these things, yeah, exile would make sense, but there's this one nagging charge of treason that makes it so that exile may be off the table.
I mean, maybe. We'll find out. Maybe tonight. Even. I guess the question we should ask is... Ooh, wait. I didn't advance the clock. You all retired after the actual...
Yes.
Trial.
Finally.
Various locations. For the day. At the end of the trial for the day, you retired. So now it is day 153. I only point these things out so my players who have the calendar can pay attention to certain, important things that happen on dates.
Celestial events.
Yes.
Rax, I have a question. I'm just curious. So it's day 153 on the calendar,
Which is the first Lune of Fane.
right? So what's the moon like? I'm just curious because I really am very interested in nature and like the stars and the moon.
It's almost gone. The new moon is tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered by that.
Yet.
I mean, hey, Pope, how do you feel about the new moon coming up?
I have a feeling its presence is going to be felt.
Huh. Billy, do you have any feelings about the new moon? I'm just curious.
No.
No? Yeah.
Why? Should I?
No.
I mean, it's I guess better than the old moon, I feel like you say that like something's gonna happen. Like, cause,
For those of
feel
you
like
who
I
may
feel
be
like some
just
things
tuning in,
feel like some things have processes and some goings ons, and you know what? It's not going to be a big deal.
Sure.
Uh,
go back to episode 1 and chicken manacles.
Look, I mean, they're like, come on. The drop several times of the word orgy has happened. So there's a lot of potential reasonings for those chicken manacles, okay? So it's not because anybody like fucking loses control or anything.
Some people just like chicken cosplay. You know what I mean? Like sexy chicken cosplay. You just like
No, we're cutting this off right here. If you want, you do. I am not in any way shaming anyone who does anything, but I don't need to know about some stuff about what you do in your private life.
Foul play.
Oh, yes.
Did it.
That was for you, Lindy. Love you.
She not landed for another 3 hours. As far as I understand.
So if we keep going, will she join us?
No, she's not. She is not joining us. She's already told us she won't be joining us tonight, because Lindy is literally flying around the world. But look, Crit is saying I lost control. Did I ever? My players, I would like to put forward to you. Hi guys, we're gonna take a moment out of the game and whatever. Did I ever pretend to have control over this game?
You have control.
I feel like it's
guidance,
a tenuous. You know how you climb on like a hiking trail and there are cairn stones, like the cairns that are just there. It's just like we do whatever we want, and we see a cairn stone. It's like, oh, people have been here, and then we go whatever way we want. But we see them, and we respect them. But sometimes you got to go to the woods.
I just feel like Prax could just call herself Master Blaster because Master Blaster runs Bartertown. She runs Bartertown. We know it. Respect. Yeah. It's like the ocean. You never turn your back on the ocean. You respect the ocean. Otherwise, And
I'll take the comparison to the ocean a lot nicer than, the Master Blaster. Just feeling.
I will say this. Control is exerted once initiative is rolled.
There's that. Which is an interesting point and does help us guide the conversation back to our morning rise, where it is a new day, a new dawn, a new life, and I'm feeling good. Yeah, that might be because of something else that's going on this week, but
full moon?
No, that's something else. But I must ask this question of my wonderful players. Durin, Arzo, where would you be, let's say, a civilized hour of breakfast this morning?
I would be eating a Danish whilst attending to the hole in my workshop.
I feel I must ask for those of us at home, what kind of Danish?
Give,
Fruit.
Given the surroundings of Mahakam, this is a blackberry Danish.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Blackberry Danish. Good to know. Then my next question, as you are attending to the 12-meter wide hole in your wall. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Ardzo, where do we find you?
Unless there's been like court official arrangements, he would be tending to the health of his sister, checking
Well, I
up,
mean-
making her breakfast if possible.
Yeah, she would have probably been released from the House of Healing that night after the case, court case. So there is, you're going to try and make breakfast yourself?
In my sister's place, using her utensils for my sister and my niece.
So you're gonna fight Thalma for her kitchen. Just want to make sure I understand this.
Roll initiative, motherfucker. Let's go. Let's do it.
I just feel like
do it.
I feel like the all right, let's do this. You want to do this? Let's do this.
I'm looking for the button. No, I mean, he wouldn't do it with violence, but if she...
There's such a thing called social combat in this game, remember?
Yeah, I'm bad at it.
Uh-huh. Well, you know what? I'm doing math off the fly because that is a thing that we do in this game all the time. Cool. Hold please while I double check. What is the... Because as you come, I'm assuming you spent the night here.
Yeah.
And here we go. Verbal combat. What is the initiative in verbal combat? Interesting. There is no initiative. It just starts with whoever starts the conversation. So we're gonna just start with whoever starts the conversation, which I'm assuming would be, her as you walk into this kitchen, and her response is going to be, "Why are you here?"
I wanted to make breakfast for my sister and my niece, and maybe you, as a courtesy.
So I'm sorry, I have to answer a text from the missing.
Is Lizzie telling you that Brenna is poisoning all of us? Is that what she's saying?
No.
Oh.
She is saying that they're almost home. No, I'm sorry. This is my kitchen. This is my job. You can go have a very nice sit, and I will bring it out.
Well, can I help, or... Because I understand that this is your job and this is her house and everything, but this is something that I like to do for people, and I'm certainly not bad at it. I can make you a test dish if you would like.
I would like you to leave my kitchen, please. You get to make the first roll as...
I feel like that's a persuasion.
Okay.
Because I was trying to...
Yep. You roll the persuade. And that's the thing is you have different steps of the attacks. What kind of attack you're attempting to persuade? In which case, roll persuasion. Which is a 19. And she is trying to, I would say, counter-argue. She's resisting coercion. She's not quite ignoring you. She is ignoring you. She's resisting coercion. Which I need. Back. I need the stats come back here. Cool. No, 20. So she wins that round. And
she's good at resisting coercion.
She is 1d10 plus empathy, so oh no, it doesn't explode because this is just damage. To your resolve, you'll take. Well, it works better if I type the right button. $14 points of damage to your resolve.
Oh my goodness.
So she will then say, I appreciate you, but this is not your place. You belong above stairs, not below them. So please, respect your station.
Is it not the intent of the individual to decide his own station? Right? The freedom to choose, especially if you start at the higher station and choose to sacrifice it, let's say in exile, to be in the below station.
This is my kitchen, not yours. It is appropriate and you should respect the appropriate actions. Unless, of course, you truly are the uncouth individual that people claim you are.
Yeah, and that very well might be, but that, the phrasing seems a little weird because when you say your kitchen, do you mean my sister's kitchen that you have to be employed into?
My kitchen. Hold on, I need to do math. Cool. No. Oh, that's she does have it. Okay. So she is attempting to ridicule you, and therefore uses social etiquette.
And I'm a soft, tender boy.
So how are you defending?
Dodge.
Which is either ignore, which is resist coercion, or counter-argue, or change the subject, or you can disengage, which means you end the argument by leaving.
I feel like my verbiage was that the counter, like it's not actually your kitchen. So how would that counter manifest?
That's a counter argument.
A counter argument is just basically a counter attack.
Okay. What am I rolling for that?
Your choice. It's if you want to know all of your options, it's on page 176 of the PDF of the wonderful Witcher TTRPG from our friends at Artelsorian Games. # not sponsored at all.
Oh, we should be.
No comment.
I feel like this might be intimidate, but it could be an appeal.
Yeah, I feel like it
was an intimidate. You tried to.
You gotta be kidding me, Cat. You can't just knock off these cans.
Cat is like, excuse me. The cat's like, excuse me, I'm the cat. I'm the star. Pay attention to me.
Do you think those are your cans?
Okay.
So she is attempting to ridicule you, which is a social etiquette attack. So, oof, she rolled a nat 1 though. That's not good.
Well, it's still an 18 is gonna be hard to.
14.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
So you need to defend against that.
Intimidation, I think, is the direction.
Yeah, that's what you went with.
Oh,
14.
tie.
Tie goes to the defender in this case, so you do not get the attack.
Can he spend a point? Can he spend 1 point of luck?
Oh, I defended successfully because the tie goes to the defender, so I don't
right.
lose anything.
Yeah.
But you do get to do damage to her resolve, as per intimidate.
Yeah, you can do 1d10 plus will to their resolve.
1d10 plus will. That's 7. So
Plus you get a cumulative +4 damage from intimidation for the combat.
5 plus 7 is 12.
12. She glares at you. Wait, hold on. I didn't. Oh yeah, there is no extra effect for.
Okay, now this doesn't have to get nasty. I enjoy you. You are loyal. You have been around. All I would like to do, with your permission and us being respectful individuals, is make something nice for my sister. Not in competition. I would never want to take your place here. I know that my place is not here. So this is just how I show affection for people. So if you could be so kind and let me do this one singular thing for my sister, I would be greatly appreciative. That's persuasion. And you said I only get the bonus for damage, right?
No, it'll be a cumulative +4 damage from intimidation for the combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
If the next time you intimidate, you get a
+4.
Gets a +4, but it
To your roll.
to your damage roll.
Okay.
But it doesn't stack.
Right. So it's a one-time thing. In the event I succeed in another intimidation roll, but this one's persuasion because so we don't want to make enemies with this woman.
She is going to. I feel like this is a counter argue for her. And she is going to raise an eyebrow and say, Lord Arzo, I appreciate that you want to do something nice. But not here, not now, and not right after. We just had somebody attempt to poison someone in my house that I am in charge of. No one, except me, is making anything for this family from now on. Period. End of conversation, end of story. And she is going to use an imply, which is a tool, because in addition to, actual rolls, she gets their tools, which is one of the most fun things in the system. I love the verbal combat in this system.
You can give up your
so cool.
Yeah, you can give up your attack for a round to set yourself up for the next round.
So she is implying, allows you to suggest something, which means I roll, and if I succeed on my roll, then you will lower your defenses by 4 for the next round when I go to attack.
Yeah.
So I need to roll persuasion, which is that one with a 26. So there's no damage this round. Instead,
I
now on her
-4.
attack, your resolve is at a minus. Your defense, which is is at a -4 when you roll defense.
Now, there is a defense, right, for these tools? Yes, no?
A tool is she used it as her defense against his attack.
No, because you use the tool instead of your attack.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
So,
but because her defense was counter persuasion,
yeah.
it was a counter argument. She can use a tool in place, but you can only
Yes.
use a tool once per combat.
Yeah.
So now that the combat exists,
Yeah.
His defenses are at a -4 for the rest of the verbal combat. Which is now her round and her round of attack. Yeah, I may have paid a lot of attention to verbal combat in this system. Cole Drake is very kindly gifting you all luck. So now she is going to stand there, and now that this imply is on the table, that she is implying that, this this issue with
The one closest to me, if I told her to
poisoning happening in her house, and she's not cool with it at all. She is going to turn and say, now, if you could be so kind as to remove yourself, because I know you wouldn't want me to think that you were at all involved in the attempted poisoning of the family that attended dinner here last night, or 2 nights ago. And have yourself a pleasant seat in the parlor, and I will bring you some coffee and hot chocolate.
That does sound hard to turn down. And knowing your skill, it will be a fantastic experience, and I'm very particular about my coffee. So I would put a lot of money on the fact that you would get it right. However, I have not seen my sister, as you know, in 50 years. Nor do I know when the next time it is I will see my sister. Now, surely you can count how many meals you have prepared for my sister and her family in those 50 years. Also, if you were here that evening as well in the house, I was involved in the attempted poisoning as I was poisoned, hence making me involved in the poisoning of my family. So as a gift, right, once in 50 years, I would like to ask you permission to either assist or prepare a meal for my sister as a gift. We're not talking to her for 50 years. 50 years. I'll even pay you. I'm going to try to appeal using leadership.
Before you do, might I ask a question? Because you said you'd even pay her. There is a tool that you could use for bribery. Rather than making your attack, you could, this could be a bribe, which would set you up for your next round. I'm just asking, because it's possible.
Well, here's the thing about dwarves. So I'm gonna change my angle with that speech and try to garner sympathy and befriend.
So you're going to befriend rather than appeal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the history.
She is it's her attack, so she's gonna roll her attack first. And then so you're defending with a counter argument is what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So remember, you're at a -4. And she is going to appeal. Yeah, that was it was between a persuasion and an appeal. I'm gonna lead with appeal. She isn't quite as good at. Doesn't have quite as high leadership. I mean, she doesn't have leadership score. But there we go. So that's a 18, and you have a -4 to your defense of your counter, which is you were trying to befriend.
Can I use 4 points of luck to wipe that out?
I'm good with that because this
not-
is a matter of life and death.
in my luck, my personal luck.
If you want, you can always spend luck.
Then there it is. $28.
You do get to roll the damage, 1d6
Okay.
plus empathy,
Yeah.
but you don't end. You're not ending the combat
Right.
on that because she
I
still
was just
has
really happy.
resolve. 5 plus your empathy.
Which is, let me check here, 1,000. It's 1,000. It's 10.
15. Okay.
Now, like, it's a critical, so did her leg fall off or anything?
No, there's no crits in verbal combat.
Damn it.
There are no crits in verbal combat.
But there is like basically double attacks, right? You know what I mean? Because like the defense is also still an attack, so you kind of
Yeah,
it that
it
way.
gets really complicated. It's good though. Also, you can have verbal combat with more than 2 people. It gets really fun. Just saying.
Sounds like a lot.
It's your round of attack, by the way.
Oh God.
She is still glaring at you. Like that very sedate weight surface glare. With perfect posture.
and a knife. I'm just asking.
Yeah, probably.
Well, there are 3 or 4 around the table in front of her. That isn't a question.
Okay, so what he's gonna do? Oh man. He's going to he senses that she's not having it, and the longer this goes, the longer the more heated she's gonna get. So he's gonna try a little maneuver where he approaches. He's going to lean into the counter that's like right next to her, and like that and allowing me to do this thing for my sister, it would just occupy all of my time, and I want to pour myself into this gift. I cooking is a passion of mine, because what I were to do, if I were not cooking right now and in the state I'm in, I may just do something completely irrational, like I tell you how I felt about you after all of these years. And he's going to
You're
then,
attempting to
look-
seduce?
Yes.
You're attempting seduction.
Uh-huh.
Roll seduction. You're still at a minus. Well, your defenses are at -4.
23.
Cool. She is going to straight up ignore that. And I'm going to for story reasons, give her a +2 because she saw you and Zolkor at the dinner.
Yeah, there's a lot of logic there.
I'm just gonna give her a +2 to this one.
He can love more than one
However,
person.
It as an argument, somewhat for Arzo, he is Zerny's brother.
Yeah, I don't know that that actually helps here.
I'm just saying.
So, she's gonna get a +2 to this roll. Now, mind you, I have not used the 5 points of luck that I got given this week from my video game stream and my cooking stream. I could use those, but this is situational.
Oh, please.
Those will be those. I'm holding those for a different thing.
Damn.
Oh, she nat 1 too
Should have used that 5 points of luck.
for a
Dale-
14.
Dale doesn't like it. Dale doesn't like it.
She you roll the 1d6 plus empathy. She's a little. I'm gonna play it off as she's a little flustered because she does know Zerny, and she's like, no, okay. And that whole thing is like, yes, she saw you with Zolkor, and she knows Zerny, and she's like, I don't know about all of this. This is very inappropriate. It is
15 more.
cool.
15
She is going to it is her now her oh yes, this is the way it has to go. Lord Arzo. What you and your brother choose to do and the relationships you choose to build with multiple people, I do not judge. That is your choice. However, that is not something I particularly choose to engage in or indulge with because I don't see it as an appropriate response and a very, shall we say, classy move to engage in those sorts of flagrant uncivilities in public. I've heard about the manacles and the chickens. I don't need to know anything more. Thank you very much. And she is going to attempt to ridicule you again. Oh, but she's not doing it in public, so she doesn't get the benefit of lowering your reputation by 2 for everyone who's around. For the day.
That's why you argue in private.
Yep. $23. There we go.
You're a busy boy. Defenses. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna attempt to ignore it just because, hey, sticks and stones. Also, I've been called a lot worse under a lot worse conditions. So he'll be like, yes, I am often grouped with my brother due to the nature of his things, but I can assure you that is not the way that it is. I am not that. I have never partaken in one of his gatherings. It may be hard to believe, but I have several folks who can assure you that I have been nothing but sincere in my outings. And that's just something that I feel you should know. If you don't want to have a conversation for 20 minutes about my deep-seated feelings for you,
So
we could save that, and I could just cook my sister a meal.
you're going to go ahead and roll
Is that seduction or is that intimidation? I really
no,
don't know.
it's his
I'm
defense.
trying
His
to
defense is
ignore.
his defense is to ignore, which means he's playing it up, and I can see that. But you need to roll, and it's a -4.
Resist coercion at -4.
Yep.
Yikes. This is not good. Yeah, I got obliterated.
Ooh, you should be happy there are no crits in the system. Which is, well, you know. So 11 damage.
Okay. 15 left.
She's still standing.
Yeah.
As a really noxious will, it's fine. And int. But it is your attack, sir.
I'm gonna go for it. I know that drama surrounds my family, especially after all of the happenings of the last 2 days, and that is the last thing I want is to create more. That just adds more stress. So let me, just a secret trade between us, just let me do this one kind thing for my sister. I will cook for you as well. And the world does not have to hear about my feelings for you. And I will bury them deep inside myself and never even speak of them again.
I think that is her deceive.
How's it? I feel like it's an appeal.
But you're
I'm
basing it on
appealing.
you're basing it on something that's untrue.
An antagonistic attack, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'll do it. I'll have it be a deceive.
I mean, like,
Or it could be an
unless
intimidate, right? If he's threatening to like basically tell all the people about his feelings and embarrass her.
yeah, but it's either a deceive or an intimidate. But it sounds more, you know, unless of course Arzo actually has had feelings for this housekeeper that he hasn't met in 50 years. I don't judge Arzo.
It's more a test to see if he's still got it.
Yeah, it's either a deceive or an intimidate.
Yeah. Yikes.
She is going to attempt to raise an eyebrow and counter with she's going to counter argue with, well, I'm sure that there would be many people in Mahakam who would love to know about your indiscretions and your attempts to engage the the serving staff of your sister in an inappropriate relationship. I'm sure that that would have no implications on your status, your respectability, your calling into question any and all of your previous relationships with any of your household staff.
You bring up a valid point, but how many times did you save my sister's life?
The 26 on her ridicule counter.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't get anything there.
No, but and it's because it's a counter. She rolls the damage on the counter attack.
Yeah.
Which is 14.
I have one resolve.
You can always concede and retreat.
I can't do that. I can't do that. This is cooking. This is for real. So following up after how many times did you say my sister's life? So if it comes to a conversation,
I mean, it is her turn, though.
ah, shit balls. Okay.
Fun things. You can have that line. I'll let you have that line, but it is her action.
Yeah. No, it's probably gonna go down here. This is probably where I go.
So, well, I'm sure that it is very respectable for a doctor to save people the life of those whose house he is visiting at the time. I'm not sure it is equally as respectable for that same doctor to be involved with the help of that household in a manner that seems coercive. Particularly after you haven't seen them in 50 years. It might be construed as obsessive or stalkerish. And she's gonna go with what seems to be working, which is ridicule.
Although that really
20.
feels like an intimidate, though. You know what I mean? Like, because she's threatening him.
Okay. This number wouldn't change. The secret ingredient is pride.
Hmm.
And I just note that because intimidate does more damage than ridicule, and it really feels like she's threatening him. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he also has that -4 to his defense.
Now, does it count as a defense if I counter?
Yes, it does. In this case, because you're using because the defense is counter argument, it would still have the -4 to the defense, even the roll. Wait. I should just figure out how to put my quotes on.
He'll respond. It's like, oh, yes, I can see, and I definitely understand. How can that be very bad for me? But the heart goes where the heart goes. The heart wants what the heart wants, and what is time to the effect of the heart? And my real love is cooking, and I would love to share that with you. All right, at the behest of my sister, whose life I did just save. So I ask you once, the last time, please, for the love of my family, let me cook for my sister. He wants to counter with a persuade.
Okay, you're still taking that -4 though.
Right, for sure. Oh, so close.
Nope. So she does 1d10 plus will.
I only have one, so.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll the d10 because it's gonna be +8 or no +9 is her will. Sorry, I was above. So only 10 damage.
Can you go below 0 for resolve?
Not really. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
What it does is it ends the combat.
Yeah. So then he'll you can say what you're gonna say, and he's gonna turn his tail and go outside.
The person whose resolve falls to 0 first loses the combat and is convinced of whatever their opponent is arguing. That this would be an inappropriate action and you should get the fuck out of her kitchen. Is what you're convinced of.
He'll leave. He'll think to himself. Notice how I didn't say to himself. He'll think to himself, fucking dwarves.
I mean, fair. But we should go check in on Lord Math for this morning.
Well, he would have gotten up early to go and try to gather materials components. If I might be able to roll my wilderness survival for the
Yes, you
next
could.
component on my list. But he
You
wants to
may
get early
indeed.
enough for a reason that I think Durin will find really exciting. Let me just roll that. I need an 18. Let's see, because that's the rarity. 24. So I was looking for Dwarves Immortel, which is like a Dwarven Immortel, which is like a,
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 1d3. It's 1d6 divided by 2, but we can just roll 1d3.
Yeah. But just roll 1d3, it's fine.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm gonna get 2 of those, which is awesome. And he has other things he's going to gather, but he just did a little bit of gathering because he wants to be at Durin's workshop right when breakfast happens. You know what I mean? Because he has got things to do. And so he wants to be like, maybe I would say perhaps timing wise, right when Durin might be about to take his first bite of his Danish, I think would be when there would be heavy rapping at the door of the forge. You know, like just like, you know, when like it's like there's like a good and considerate time to call on people, and this would be before
Not
that
it.
good. It would be not that good and considerate time to call. Yes, upon someone. When, you know, like, you know, if you had like manners that cared about other people's feelings, and there would be like just like a heavy rapping on the door.
So to steal a shot from one of the best parts of the new Hobbit is Durin is kneeling down, looking at timbers and large plates of steel, contemplating how to patch up this hole, has this delicious blackberry Danish in hand, and as it is about to reach his mouth, there is this rap on the door.
And I need to note that Math uses his staff to rap on the door, so it's quite loud and perhaps a little shocking. Not because he wants to shock you, but because he wants to make sure that you'll hear him, because people should hear what he's doing. So it's like a nice loud rap with like a good thunk, thunk, thunk with the staff, which is just like right over there, right on the door.
Looks at the Danish, like slides a bit of wax paper. I am so sorry. Apologizes to the Danish. Puts it down. Puts on his workman's smock and goes to the door. Good morning. How can I help you? As he's opening the door.
It is very good to see you, Lord Razmi. Again, it is I. The early bird catches the worm, as they say. I believe we have a mission to go on that I am leading. We should go and round up everyone who's been involved in this mission, and we should go. And he'll just walk in to your place. Ooh, Danish. And he will take your Danish and eat it. Pope, I'm so sorry. So now, where should we find Odso, Lord Odso?
I believe Lord Ardso, given the state of both himself and sister, is at the nearby House of Healing, resting.
Well, we should get him then. Is that Lady Witcher about? We should get her as well. Yes, we have much to do. We have... Ooh, that hole. You haven't fixed it yet. Well, I suppose you've been busy. So let's go.
As to the Countess, I have yet to receive missive of her intent. I am certain that she is
Mm.
preparing, possibly going to one of the local alchemists, working with them to make any number of concoctions to better kill the necrophages.
Mm. Mm. Well, if you're slow, you get left behind, shall we? This is a delicious Danish, by the way. I would have expected Berbecane fruit, but the blackberry is very good. Thank you. And he'll just start heading towards the door, assuming you're going to follow him. And he'll just wait. Let's go. Come on.
I first need to tend to my wound and then my arm. So if you would, the, the cafe right over there is quite lovely. The Berber King tea is quite good.
Mm.
So why don't you enjoy some of Corinne's fine teas and baked goods, and I will be with you as soon as I have changed my bandages and gotten into proper order.
You know, the thing is, you may not know this, it's possible that you don't. Druids are very well versed in the healing arts and the body and nature and all of that. And as an expert in these things, let me tell you that just changing your bandages is probably not a good idea. I would say we get up and not let this thing fester any longer. We find Lord Odds, and we have him tend your wounds. You, as far as I know, are not a trained healer, but yet he is. Also, he's at a healing tent full of all sorts of healers all about. So, let's go. Come on now, let's not be layabouts. We've got things to do. We've got problems to solve. We've got necrophages that are being all just riled up and yes, so we don't have any time to lose. I mean, this is actually your home. I mean, I feel like I'd be
given the current state of dress, as excellent as dwarven tailoring is, I would prefer having Mahakam steel on as opposed to fiber. So it will take me a bit to get my armor on, go over to the cafe, relax, and I will be with you shortly.
I'm just going to be heading over to the healing building. Meet me there, but just don't tarry, don't dawdle. Lord Rasmi. Oh, so delicious, thank you. And he'll just head out towards the healers building and just take that delicious Danish with him.
As you start to walk out, you notice that a guard, well, is someone dressed in the guard's uniform of Mahakam, although they aren't visibly carrying a weapon, and their helmet is missing, seems to be rushing that fast walk rush into Durin's shop.
Just passed right by me. Looks like as I said, urgency.
How may I help you?
And I'm behind the guard just eating that Danish, and it's so delicious. You know what I mean?
And he's breathing a little heavily, but he doesn't say anything. He just hands you a piece of foolscap.
What does it say?
The son of a bitch died.
Osters. Baldwin's doing.
What?
There. He was a leak. I'm fairly certain that Baldwin or whoever was pulling Baldwin's strings saw to it that he died, or the spiteful bastard had a false tooth, filled with something quite potent and awful, and decided it was his time.
Perhaps he had internal injuries.
No. We made certain that he was perfectly fine.
Well, that seems like murder. Very exciting indeed.
Great. Well, first armor. He pushes both the guard and Lord Matt out. I will be with the world in a moment.
The guard would actually like. Do you need assistance, Lord Ramsey? He's offering to assist you in doing your own.
I appreciate it, but I'm going to take my time.
Yep. He doesn't feel offended. It was just oh, you're putting on armor. If you do need an extra set of hands, okay, cool. Should I let the council know to expect you, sir?
If Mesmo hasn't already been contacted, make sure he has, and find what's his bucket? Lord Glimnan. I believe he is the expert amongst the elders on matters alchemical, and have him look over the bastard's body.
Yes, sir.
And I
Thank you.
all that was in Dwarven. And he's just,
Of course.
And then in the elder speech, good day.
Oh, some people don't have a sense of urgency. Oh,
The guard isn't even paying attention to you. He is gone again. But we're gonna pan the camera back to the house of Harga Gulo, because it is her house. She inherited it after her parents passed.
Math is just walking to the healing building and is going to realize that they're not there and figure out where they are, then head that way. Because
Yes.
he's got urgency.
Ardzo, just about the time that you're settled in the parlor, and a very, very pleasant chocolate service is served to you because Thalma did promise you chocolate. There's a knocking at the door, followed by Thalma opening the door, a slow conversation. Then she brings back one of the guards that you have seen. Just one of the regular dressed guards. Again, no helm, and with a full scap piece of paper, and rolled up, then hands it to you. Little scrap of full.
And he'll thank the guard.
He kind of
thank you.
waits as if to expecting that you might.
Sorry, it has been some time. Do I open this now in front of you?
Yes, sir. In case you desire to send a reply immediately.
Oh, that makes sense. Let me open it then. I'll open it and read it.
The son of a bitch died. Cause of death unknown.
Was it addressed to me or addressed to my sister?
It's addressed to you. And you can recognize, it's in Mesmo's handwriting.
Well, my sister will not, or maybe she will enjoy this. No response, sir.
Of course. Have a pleasant day, and he kind of bobs his head, and then as he walks out, he nods again to Thelma and then leaves at speed.
And I'll kind of like roll it up and think while I eat chocolate. Is it good chocolate?
It's a good hot chocolate, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice hot chocolate. Nice and it's Italian hot chocolate, so it's basically like warm chocolate mousse. It's thick. You eat it like a pot de creme. A little whipped cream on top.
Yeah.
Shavings.
Okay. And what is the state of my sister at the last? Like as of this morning, is she in bed still?
She was indulging in a day off bed rest kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, between being poisoned, the drama of the trial, all of that bullshit. She's like, I'm taking a mental health day. I'm not leaving my bed. I gotta serve him for this shit. For reasons.
He'll approach her room and rap on her door a couple of times.
Come in.
Hey, how are you doing, my sister?
I'm not dead, and I was enjoying a quiet me day. And you can see like she's like seated, propped up against a number of pillows in this bed. Like overwhelming number of pillows. There's a tea service on the low table next to her. There's a number of cookies, tea, cookies. She's got a book open on front of her, and she kind of like holding a finger on the page. She looks up at you. She's like, I was enjoying a me day.
Yes, I was given some news that I felt like you should hear. Got a letter from Mesmo, and he told me that Gimner had died, and he does not know how. It was not me, nor did I know about it.
So the son of a bitch died before I could relieve him of his balls.
That's what it looks like. And what the fuck is up with that guy? How did you see this coming?
No, I didn't. Also, apparently I didn't. So here's a question. Have you told her? You told her about the question. Durin told her about the question of the fact that Gimner made a charge against the daughter about the lack of legitimacy. Has anyone told her that that's technically true?
I don't actually think Ardzo knows either. Right now, the only people who know are Math and Durin.
No, because Mesmo was there.
No, because he very specifically did not give any of that information out when Mesmo was there because he did not want to.
Oh, okay, yeah. You told them about the other thing, about the
Baldwin and
yeah, all of that.
But the extra thing that might get you stabbed if you give people bad news did not say in front of the family. Told Durin because Durin is not in the family, is less likely to get all mad and stab you. He wanted, because this was like a thing, right? It's clearly a reputational situation, so he wanted to like keep this somewhat contained. So yeah, right now only Durin and Math know that.
Okay, so she doesn't know that, but she does know that she doesn't know the results.
Charge in public, yeah.
But she does know that he said that. It's like, I know that they were going to see about proving that the son of a bitch wrong, and I was looking forward to the after effect when I could cut off his balls for slander.
Okay, so clearly you're not egregiously upset that the father of your child is dead.
I figuring he trying to murder all of my brothers in my home, and then claiming that our daughter is not our daughter, his daughter. I feel that any sympathy I would have had for this son of a, Drek is gone.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure just because it has been so long. and I didn't want to make assumptions because mainly I didn't want to rob my niece of her father. But now that you feel the same way, getting poisoned sucks.
It does. I will agree with that, but I would like to ask. Okay, so we don't know. Do we know how he died? What he did? What did he do?
This is all I got. And he'll show her the letter from Mesmo.
Our brother is at times overly terse.
Yes, but we know that, and it is what it is. Do you want Zerny to write this letter?
No, thank you.
Yes, because then you'd probably have to wash your hands after.
Mm-mm. Speaking of, I had a wonderful conversation with Thalma just recently.
Yeah, okay. I really wanted to make you breakfast, and I was trying to say a whole bunch of shit. None of it worked. That was also not true. I was stupid. I said stupid things. I'm a good cook. I just wanted to do a thing for you.
Me appreciate that. However, perhaps not upsetting the person who makes meals in this house. Also has control over, most of the things like, clean sheets, laundry. Pissing them off is never a good idea.
No, not for you. I'm used to cabins and dirt. And really, anything I put in my mouth is going to be better than 2 nights ago.
What was wrong with the dinner?
Oh, the dinner was great. It was the wine that had the poison in it.
Okay, yes, that was very unpleasant. We should. While this conversation is happening, there's a rap at the door, and Thalma calls in. Mistress Purga? Yes? Lord Maff is downstairs waiting for you.
So much for a personal day.
Also, hand me the red robe over there. He may be escorted up, Thalma.
He'll run over and grab the robe.
Yeah.
He'll flippantly toss it on the bed on top of her.
Yeah, she's pulling a full, classic Hollywood starlet. I will greet this person. I'm deigning to greet you in my room, but I have this dressing gown. It's a little overlarge red velvet, crushed red velvet.
I wish she had a 1940s turban as well. You know what I mean? A matching turban, like the little kind of cute ones that
no. It kind of works because she does have curly hair, right? So she does have the scarf with her hair done up in a neat with the turban kind of thing, and then she's pinned just the right gem on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah Barnhart, eat your heart out.
Yes.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Although less serial killer.
It's fair.
So a few moments go by. The door opens. Thalma gesture Lord Maff in. You come into this room. This bed is a little large, but you can see the very detailed work. Like the structure of the bed frame itself is stone that seems to be actually carved out of the room into its own organic piece. And then there are wooden, intricately spun posts that make up the crown for the four-poster bed with the very large, heavy drapes that come down off of it. And you see Perga, again, reigning in this space. Arzo is on the side of the bed to the left. There is a chair next to her if you wish to sit, Arzo. If not, that's okay.
He'll do it. He'll sit.
Good morning, Lady Perga. I hope you are feeling more recovered than you were last night.
Yes, thank you. How may we be of assistance, Lord Math?
Well, I used my expertise to do some investigations into the questions that were asked, and so as a sort of a master druid, I have information for you that you have requested.
You can just say whatever. My brother is my brother. He's the sane one, not Zerny or Kazakh.
Are you certain?
Yes, why? There's no problems.
So, my understanding is at the trial, your husband... Oh, I should let you know he has been murdered.
Murdered? All they said was he died.
Well, yes, well, but according to Lord Razmi, he did not have any internal injuries, and so he's either murdered himself or someone else did. He just wouldn't spontaneously die, so it's a bit of mysteriousness, most likely. Nonetheless, I did some investigations into his blood, etc., and if you recall that you voluntarily gave me a sample of yours as well, and I did all of my investigations. Yes, and I do have results for you.
She just stares at you, waiting.
He just sort of glances over at Arzo. Well, all right then. So, he accused you of cheating on him somehow in public.
That has never been happened.
I would say, good, you're not squeamish, you're laying down. He cheated on you of a sort, is really the best way to put it. Which, I have to say, this has some implications about your entire relationship, if you don't mind me saying. Before you conceived of your child, he most likely, I mean, he's engaging with some sort of quite serious magical sort of people. And some sort of spell of some sort was placed upon him that allowed him to, this is a little bit delicate, you see. A bit of a switcheroo happened. When you and he were having time together in that sort of way, where your daughter was conceived, he himself was there in the room, but the seed was not his. It belonged to a dwarf. I did check, it was indeed a dwarf, but it was not his. And then it was glamored in such a way to make it seem if anybody tested the blood that it would look like he was the father, but he was not. He did not seem to... this was a plan. This doesn't happen accidentally. It was clearly done with forethought and malice to fool you into thinking that he was the father, but he clearly did not want to actually father children with you and went to some sort of deceptive means with which to not be involved in that situation, which makes me think, if you don't mind me saying, that whatever was going on was some sort of long-standing plan meant to, well, I'm not quite certain his feelings for you were genuine, ever. And he seems to be somewhat of a, well, a villain. I mean, yes, the poisoning, yes, poisoning, it happens, but he seemed to have been treating you ill in a way that I feel like is, well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but he was a villain in a way that is, I feel like, is a bit deeper, and I'm very sorry for that sort of violation of you. But I thought I'd let you know that he's. And he seemed to have been quite fine with the necrophage situation going on and knew about it ahead of time and all of that. And he's working with a druid who's dead, and so clearly has, if it is actually the same person, not somebody impersonating it, there's some sort of magic user who can bring people back from the dead in some sort of unnatural way, going against nature, and he's trucking with that sort of person, or he was before he was probably killed by that mage or killed himself, so that mage wouldn't kill him. Yes, I'm sorry about that, Lady Perga. I have not, by the way, I've not told anyone except for Lord Razmi. No one else knows. I thought this would be information that should be yours and yours alone to share with anyone if you so desired.
Well, that is a lot more than what is on this sheet of paper from Mesmo.
Mesmo doesn't know. As I just said, I did not tell anyone except for Lord Razmi, because Lord Razmi was there, and I knew, and people were going to ask questions about what I found out, and so someone had to know, but no one else does. So this is your private information, and I will certainly testify and write a report that you can then have if that is useful for you.
Welcome in, raiders. Thank you for that wonderful raid. We just came in at a wonderful point. If you are new here, hey, thank you for coming in. We're playing some Witcher Roads Home, our Golden Age of Witcher campaign. Our Witcher campaign set in the Golden Age of Witchers. We're currently in Mahakam, and there's a lot of family drama. Lady Perga will turn to you, Arzo, and say, so, as his legal next of kin, I hereby delegate unto you, my charming, wonderful, sane brother. Please go stab that corpse and make sure he's actually dead, and then burn it. Cut off the beard, too.
Yes. Well, I will just note for the record that Baldwin, sort of priest druid of Veilpatis, who is currently out and about, lurking inside this the mountains and about and otherwise, was actually beheaded and burned, and his body sent down a river, and it's part of a ceremony. So I don't know yet. He seems to be wandering about, so I'm not quite certain the destruction of the body will be enough to keep it safe from desecration.
Arzo, salt it, then burn it. Cut the beard off. And also his balls, because apparently he didn't need them.
Oh, okay. Can you write down the list? Because that is a lot. I figure I have to do it in a particular order.
She snatches...
Cutting off the balls, the beard, burning. The Lady Perg was quite clear.
Just the fall.
Oh, also stabbing a few times. So I imagine you would probably stab a few times first, which actually tenderizes the meat. Then you can salt it quite well. Cut off the balls, cut off the beard, and then burn it. Would you like beheading as well, or...
Okay, so then I will go and do that then.
Thank you, Arzo. Also, if you see Mesmo, smack him. She says that in Dwarvish, by the way. You would Lord Math, you could recognize Mesmo's name, but that's about it.
Yeah. It's like, anyway, would you like me to make a statement that I could seal with a wax seal, if you would like, that I could deliver to you personally, so you could have it if you so desired, but I do not have any plans of sharing what I saw with regard to you, or what I garnered, unless that is your choice to share that information or not. But I can give you my testimony written down and sealed, if that would be useful for you after I take care of this business when I leave.
We'll get it from you at some point in the future. We appreciate your help and assistance in this matter, Lord Math.
Of course, Lady Perga. Well, I'm sorry about that. Also, your home is very lovely.
Thank you very much. And she just kind of glances at the door and, like, Thalma opens the door from the outside. Just, that perfect level of bond between the anticipation of the...
Yeah, he has no reason to be here, and he's like, whatever that's gonna go, I'm gonna head on outside.
So assuming that you all are going to meet up at the cells where Gimner was being held, I think this is the perfect place to take the break for the evening. Stretch, bio, and welcome in, Raiders, again. Thank you for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. We're going to take a short 8-minute break, and then we'll be right back, and we'll find out what's going to happen with this dead body of this person who attempted, family drama. All the family drama.
Oh, it feels like more than just family drama. Feels like treason, feels like betrayal, feels like
Subterfuge.
threatening the very existence of Mahakam itself.
No, that's what the necrophages are for. We'll see you in a few minutes, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We hope you're refreshed, stretched, bio. And oh, by the way, you can give a shout out and thanks to the wonderful Wandering DM for that epically wonderful intro that you just saw. Go check out Simon. Good job, Simon. And now, but we're back. And all of you are at the, well, jail, prison. I mean, it's not like you need a really big jail in Mahakam. It's a very, not really necessary, only, only very, it was a little small, it's fine, it works. Because it's not really necessary, I mean, but it is a, a necessary existence, whatever. Mesmo would be at the door to greet Math and Ardzo and then lead you back into the cells, kind of wave you through all the security. You aren't actually stopped because you're with Mesmo, and Durin is already there, but he has gotten there maybe like 3 minutes before you all. So Mesmo just kind of opens the cell, waves away the guards, opens the cell door where the body hasn't been touched or even covered at this moment. It's just kind of laying there. He goes, well, there's the son of a bitch. I did poke him to make sure he was actually dead.
You're sure it is him and not some sort of weird.
I gather blood.
It's a dead dwarf body that looks like Gimner. If it's not Gimner and something else, I don't know how to figure that out. Do you have magical abilities, brother, and you haven't told me?
Actually, I can figure that out. I'm just going to go and gather samples, if you don't mind, before the mutilation happens. Lord Mesmo. Go in and just start, like...
Mesmo turns to Ardzo at the comment of before the mutilation happens.
Yes, our dear sister would like us to. Well, his head stays on, but his body is going to be made full of holes. We're going to pour salt inside of those holes. Then we are going to chop off his beard and then chop off his balls, deliver those to our sister, and then burn him.
Did she actually ask for the beard and balls, or just...
I'm pretty...
It's Perga. She asked for the beard and balls.
This is true.
Is that conversation in Dwarven, or is
that
it in
was
Elder
in
speech?
Dwarven?
I think it's like Mesmo's comment originally was in Elder speech, trying to be polite for you, but then the responses might be in Dwarven.
The responses were Dwarven.
She did not say she wanted them back. I think she would think it's more symbolic, He says as he's like kneeling over the body and like being ghoulish around it.
No, it's just being overly like this is Math in his happy place, and it's just being overly pleasant whilst poking a body and collecting its fluids.
Yeah, vital fluids, vital essential fluids. So sorry. Lord Ardzo. Lord Razmi needs medical attention, but I assume he's going to be sort of tough about it and not let you know, but he really does. Also, I'm just going to take a small sample before you go into your thing with the body in your way.
Okay, I guess I'll start Razmi.
I am already armored, don't worry about it. I changed the bandages before I came here.
What did I tell you? I told you.
He is in full Mahakam plate. He has his Pavis with him and is armed for war.
And Mesmo is like, no, I forgot something. You can see that he's got the sword belt on. He does have the axe strung across his back, but he's only wearing like the light chain that you wear underneath the plate. He's also not wearing a helmet at the moment. Ardzo, what are you doing?
At Math's behest, he's going to attempt. Okay, Razmi, but I know it has been a rough little bit. I know it'll take some time, but just let me look, please.
All right. Let's leave Lord Math to his work.
Oh no, I don't. You can do your diagnosis on the body, Lord Ardzo. I've already gotten pulls up like some nice coagulated blood in a vial. I've got my sample.
I also made certain to send for his lordship, who is an expert in matters alchemical, to see if
Yes, that makes sense.
this is what I think it is, because I am almost certain he had a false tooth and decided to take the Calvert's medicine.
Or
It is a
perhaps someone
possibility.
snuck in and stabbed him. Who knows? It could be all sorts of delightful options.
So, Ardzo, go ahead and roll diagnose if you wish to determine what perhaps killed Lord Gimner.
I'll use my 2 remaining luck for this roll.
I mean, that seems like a good plan, I guess, if you wish. Could be
20.
20. Well, there are no obvious wounds on the outside of the body. He wasn't stabbed, he wasn't cut, he wasn't bled in any manner, bludgeoned, none of this. No bruising that would indicate subdermal hematomas or internal bleeding of any sort. He does seem to be twisted in a manner that definitely gives an impression of a response to some not so nice things. There does seem to be some also burns along his throat, but you're not sure if those are from the poisoning the 2 nights ago, or if this is something fresh. You can't quite determine it. There doesn't seem to be any healing, but at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean anything because other reasons. So he
And
looks.
There's no external stuff other than the little bit of burns.
Yeah, he definitely but it looks like he did not die of like a heart attack or anything like that.
Right.
Oh, and I suppose the bruising from when people knocked his head against a wall from the night before.
Yeah, I mean, like all of the bruising that you can tell is bruising that you were present, or you can account for. But it doesn't look like anybody, in custody beat him up and like attacked his abdomen intentionally to avoid showing bruises when he showed up in court. No, it doesn't look like any of that. And all of those things. Get my hair caught in my. Keep going. I got my hair caught. Thank you. Okay. There.
Interesting. Lord Math, is there anything that you would like to look for?
Can you narrow down the window of death?
Based on that roll, you can assume that it occurred sometime overnight. And if if you ask Mesmo, he'll say that, that they knew he was alive after midnight. And they found him dead when the guards brought him breakfast at, 7 o'clock this morning. So sometime between midnight and 7 a.m.
Sometime between midnight and 7 a.m.
Can I make a...
You don't see any rigor mortis, though. which even you, by this point, even if you know, there should be some stages of, you don't see any.
This is just a knowledge question. Can I make like a spell casting or hex weaving or ritual casting? The skills all the same.
Yeah.
To know about, because right now Math is thinking maybe one of his little magical friends sent him a present. So thinking about long distance harm to someone. Like, do you have to be in
the results of a curse?
Yeah, like, or could you cast some sort of harmful spell through scrying? You know what I mean? Like if you can see them in a scrying space, can you like basically I'm kind of wondering like what kind of magical, if this were magical, a magical assassin sort of a thing. What might be looking at in terms of security? Like did somebody have to like teleport in, do a standing portal in, then do them and then get out, or they could just like scry through them and hit them that way? So could I make a one of my magic spell ones?
Yep.
Because I'm well versed in curses, hexes, and you know I know that might shock you, but I actually do know a little bit about curses. Anyway, like you know, people see curses. It's a thing. Leshen curse people. People curse people. People get cursed all the time. Really, whenever something really intense is happening. But I imagine it's a clean-up situation. What would you like me to roll?
You can technically this would probably be spell casting.
Sure.
You know, it's not magical training, so you don't have magical training, so it will have a higher DV, but you
26.
might not get all of the information.
Yep.
For 26, no, it doesn't look like there's anything that looks like a magical response. This looks like a biologic response of some sort. Lord Math.
Yes.
And Ardzo, both of you may make this roll. Please roll me awareness.
Oh. All right. By the way, I've already tucked the blood away. I'm just now interested in being in the room when it happens. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah, you want to be in the room where it happens. You want to be where the sausage is made.
Yes. I want everyone to know that I'm important. At 20 and 21 on our good Ardzo, of course.
20 and a 21 for Ardzo. You both glance around this space, which is literally a carve out in the stone, right? And there's a big, heavy, very heavy, interlocking iron bar door.
But we have had people tuddling about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the space itself, it should be, you know, it's mostly just a carve out of the stone. And a low pallet. And there's a little bit of fungus growing on that far wall.
Ooh.
And it looks odd.
Ooh.
And you realize as it's growing that it slowly starts to move.
Oh, hello. That is some sort of thing. I just say.
You two could both even roll wilderness survival. Or education, your choice.
Lawkeeper.
It's Lawkeeper for you.
25.
21.
I do love plants.
Yeah, but this particular plant doesn't love you.
Interesting.
You know that this particular plant is called an arch spore. You know that it is usually found in places where there's tales of murder, bloody pogroms, or despicable acts. Blood, mess, all of these things can start causing these arch spores to develop. But they're usually don't found underground. You don't find them in Mahakam. You know, you find them on battlefields, on burned out, destroyed villages, all of these things. They usually hide among the foliage and can be undetectable. So the fact that you both got the role to distinguish this because you both have been outside of Mahaka in very recent times. And you also know that this particular one is a very lurid stage of color of green. So you know that it can bite and spit poison. And its bites, and it's starting to move towards you.
I just step behind, I just step behind Razmi, Lord Razmi. It's just like when this was like, oh, Archsport, and I just step right behind him. You know what I mean? Just make sure that the plated person is between me and that. Just like, it's a very instinctual move. Like person.
As soon as I hear that, because I've learned.
Archspore, poison, dangerous, moving, quite hostile. It's like a bad mushroom.
It also looks like a kind of grows out, and you can see that stem starting to move, and it opens what looks like started looking as like a toadstool, spins out and kind of opens up this way, and you can see a number of teeth, and we might petals that look like a stamen, and so it
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just need to know. Does it say, feed me Seymour? I just want to know.
No.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
But the comparison isn't wrong. It's a fungus, not a... So,
A Faustian fungus.
a Faustian
Yes.
fungus. So, and if you would like to know, it looks like that.
Oh,
Don't like it.
so
You
cute.
don't- It is. It eats things.
It's adorable.
Yes.
And I'm just going to question, because we did make that
Yep.
a bit of a roll, all that. From my lawkeeper role, would I, does it seem that this exciting little friend has
He's
been
not so
here-
little.
Yes, no, yes, I was trying to, undersell it, soft pedal. This because it's not so little that it's been here for a bit, perhaps also, might have on our friend who's on body.
Well, you with that lorekeeper role, you would know that, by the way, your not so little friend is 2.5 meters tall. You also know that it can burrow underground,
Yes.
but it isn't usually found deep
Yes.
underground. Caves like this, an anomaly. It is very much an anomaly.
Yes.
It likes to be above ground. It does.
Yes. The
I mean,
sun.
it eats people. It wants the sun, but it does like to eat people, and it's going
Also-
to roll. It's also going to attack you.
Yes, lovely. Would you say, by the way, just sort of question that these things, if they sort of show up on battlefields and whatnot, would it be fair to say that perhaps someone encouraged this Archspore to be here?
Perhaps yes.
Yes.
By the way, it's going to spit acid at you and Ramsey. Durin.
Yes.
I would like to block.
You can.
I have a Pivis.
You can block with your Pavis.
I would like him to be my my human shield, since I step behind him. So it's like, ooh, terrible. Which I
You
imagine.
better
is
hope
like
that
a-
he blocks successfully then.
Yes, which I imagine is like a dodge behind him.
It's an 18.
18. All right.
As this thing kind of twists and undulates and begins to spit at you.
This being hit by this seems bad. So we're going to spend 3 luck.
I said poison.
Mm-hmm.
21.
21. That's good. You blocked with your Pavias, right?
The Pavis, yes.
So, your Pavi... Mm-hmm.
Mahakan Pavis. 35 stopping power.
That's good. You still are going to take 1 ablation as the acid begins to sizzle on this.
Okay, so it's got 34 left.
Yes, I know. It's much worse if you don't block it. And then it's going to pivot and turn and shift as it begins to undulate. And move around and open its mouth.
Yes. That sounds lovely.
So,
roll initiative. We're gonna just do that.
yes, I would like all of you to roll initiative, please.
Yes. A 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have.
Mm-hmm.
17.
16.
Sorry, I have to do this by hand.
No, it's all right.
It's a 10. It doesn't, I mean, it's not very dexterous. I mean, its reflexes would be one more, so an 11, but, you know. It's not the very thing.
But it's quite big.
But it is quite big. And it's
Yes.
very not happy. And it's, you know. Also, with that 21, you know that usually they're not alone.
Yes. And I'm just like, because I like to tell people, there's probably more than one, just so you know. They also can burrow, so expect things popping up from the ground. Just surprise. I am... what about Mesmo? Because Mesmo's here.
Yes, I will use stats. Why don't we, Billy, why don't we use your stats for Mesmo?
Okay.
Or, yeah, because he's not a fighter, but we'll let you, we'll just use your stat.
Yeah.
He can get the job done. Why don't you roll another initiative so we'll have...
Yikes.
It's all right. So at the moment we've got fully plated Razmi,
Yep.
chained Mesmo, and then I'm in some cloth. And what is Ardzo wearing?
Arzo's got his dwarven cloak.
But
Which is
underneath that you're wearing
Normal clothes. Dwarven cloak counts as armor for the whole.
Yeah. I just want to know if you look nice. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. He's probably still. This is casual time. He's probably still wearing the stuff he was wearing at the wedding.
This is true.
Mm-hmm. For my go, I'm going to just, for the moment, continue being behind Razmi, and I'm going to, because, you know, that's useful, I'm going to invoke, sort of draw symbols of light in the air, holding my staff, which is right over there, and I'm going to cast Blood of the Mountain on Razmi, because he seems to be the sort of going to take all the damage for us. It's one of the reasons why I wanted him to get healed up a little bit, you know what I mean? I wanted him healed up because, after all, I expected him to be absorbing things with plate and shield. Yes, so you, dear Lord Razmi, the earth, you can feel the power of the earth, you know, the blood of the mountain coursing through you. And you have tremendous strength now, and your melee attacks cannot be parried, and they deal double ablation damage to weapons, shields, and armor, and you are immune to any effect that would knock you off of your feet. That is for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you know, that is my turn. And that's it. Focus of 4. So really that only cost me 2 stamina.
Yep. So, then we have, I believe, Razmi, yes? Yes, then Razmi. Thrin
Yes.
Razmi. You see this thing undulating towards you.
I just want to say, I think it feels really nice. The blood of the mountain. I think it feels great.
In feeling great, Tor just lets out Fall back, lock it in the cage, and get the guards.
There's probably more of them going to pop up anywhere, everywhere.
That's great. We're going to put this one behind bars. S is just going to hold in place, move towards the door, waiting for the others to get out of the cell. I don't care if the bastard gets eaten.
Yeah, and Math had backed up, right? Because he has a 6-meter range on this one, so he had backed.
I mean, it's not
So-
like there's a lot of space here because it's a narrow hallway with cells, and it's
Yeah.
a little tight for you, Math.
Yes.
Perhaps even a lot tight for you.
Is it short?
I mean, it's dwarf size.
Yes.
Broad,
really-
not high.
There isn't a lot of reason for tall folks to be in the private cells under
Yes.
Mahakam.
Yes.
So there's, of course, there's the door of the cell itself, but then there's the door at the end of the hall, which is a good 25 meters away.
Well, I'm not going so far away because I have to keep these friends alive just in case things get bad. And they need my help to save them, of course,
Okay, so Durin, you're dropping below lower in initiative so you can close the door behind everybody after they get out.
Pretty much, right? It is. This is a falling back action. This where it's Pavis in front. I have my hand free to slam door, but this right now it's all shields.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Pull the
when I-
shield.
when I back out, I'm gonna back out into the side so that I don't have a direct line of sight of the thing right now. Because I don't want it
Yep.
to spit at me,
Yes, okay.
But I'm watching out for friends.
Ardzo, you're up.
Ardzo is going to attempt to grab Gimner's corpse and drag it out of the cell.
You can, it just slows you to half movement, right?
Mhm.
So you're slower. You will clear the cell, but you're not going to do much further than that. And you're going to clear the cell, but you're dragging a corpse, so the corpse isn't going to clear the cell this round.
But it could also be cover.
It could be cover. Mesmo followed directions and got out of the way. Durin, you can't close the door this round because there's a unfortunate dead body in the way.
Fuck.
It's his turn. And the Archspore pivots around, looking at you because you're where all the fresh meat are. The head undulates and spins and opens again to spit at all of you.
Fuck.
Yep.
I'm behind cover. Because,
Spend 3 more luck.
So that's a crit with a 27. Ha ha!
How much we got in chat?
You have a lot.
What's a lot?
6.
Let me spend 3 of that, so I'm spending 6 in total.
$21. Unfortunately, you do not get to block. You tried. It's okay. So you are going to take... You take... 2D... See, this is the fun bit. You take the acid damage, and your armor also takes additional ablation damage.
Okay.
So
I
you
have a
take
question.
4 acid damage, yes.
So I'm just
To
looking at
random
full
location.
I'm looking up full cover right now because I
Yep.
was like, I gotta figure out what it says. And it says the Pavis is a large enough shield that can provide full cover, as if the wielder was crouching behind a wall. If you crouch down behind a Pavis, right, it acts as cover, and anything striking you through the Pavis must do enough damage to exceed the Pavis's reliability before damaging you, and then it loses.
Yeah, that would usually work, except this particular, it's acid. So the assumption is that the acid goes through. It's like a pinprick hole
Yeah,
going through,
Yeah.
and that's why it takes it has the effect of also giving additional ablation damage
Yeah.
separate. And that's why when
Nice.
you succeeded in blocking, all it did was ablation damage to the shield,
Yeah.
but you didn't succeed in the block. So now you take the damage and you take the shield also takes a damage.
Yeah. Yep.
So does the damage go through my armor or?
No, I have to roll the target location first.
Okay. Because
not
if it's the left arm, that's the shield.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the shield is going to take 3 ablation.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it makes most sense to say the left arm. I mean, it could technically be torso, but it makes sense based on what we've said narratively. It's supposed to be a random location. To be, say, it'll go to your left arm. So that's 4. It does not,
7
you know,
damage
armor
to
will
these.
block it.
Okay. So
Armor will block it, but now that's 4,
Alright.
that's going to do additional ablation damage to,
yeah, that's
armor.
armor section. Yeah.
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 So the shield is taking ablation damage, the armor is taking ablation damage, everything is taking ablation damage. And then it spins the whole thing like a top and then underground.
Yep.
I
did warn everyone about that.
And 2 of its friends are going to pop up outside in the hall.
I warned people.
And one of them is going to try and bite Math.
Yes.
Because you are you're closest. You moved out of the hall and away from the door one way, and the other guy is going to attempt to bite Mesmo.
Yes.
So, we've got a 15 on Math.
Yes.
Could you roll your attempted defense? Whatever kind
I'll
of
be-
defense you wish.
Dodging. That's what I'll be doing. And I'll spend 2 luck here. 24.
You do successfully dodge.
Thank you.
Arzo, roll a defense for
Yep.
Mesmo
Oh,
as another one pops up on the other side to try and bite Mesmo. Ooh.
it still
No,
succeeds.
I'll hold that for that. It still succeeds. It's fine. I'll hold. I've got something in stock. I'm going to hold for it now. I thought about it, but I'm not going to use it yet. That brings us to the top of the round,
Oh, yes.
which is now Math, because Durin dropped himself in the initiative order to hold the door.
Yes. Don't like
Now
it.
there is one on either side of you in this
Corridor. Yeah.
corridor.
Yes. I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to try to strike it.
Johnny
Hello,
Raiders,
Johnny.
thank you for coming in. Welcome. We are playing some Witcher, and we are about to have a fight in a corridor with 2 giant, venomous, acidic plants. Their people are attacking. It's great. And a bunch of dwarves are trying to defend against plants underground.
Yes. Love plants. I'm going to do, with my sickle, my druid sickle, I'm going to do a fast strike at the one that's next to me. I'm going to say, plants here, plants everywhere, right here, plants, is what I'm going to do. And, random locations, because I'm like, oh no, plants, like that. 22 to 16.
So, failure on the first, failure on the second.
So,
It doesn't have limbs, so it isn't affected by... It just does the damage. Additional damage. For
does
crits.
location doesn't matter?
No! It doesn't have limbs or a face.
Yes, lovely. This does have silver. This has not yet been silvered. It has been
No.
made more bleedy, though. I
Yes.
imagine it doesn't bleed. Does it bleed?
Nope. It just, nope.
Yes.
Doesn't
Well,
bleed.
well then, lovely. I will be doing damage to it twice, if you don't mind. So that'll be give me damage. Sorry. That's 14. Yes. It's just, do I?
Oh, now you
roll
can
it?
actually just roll it with the striking. Oh, that's fine.
Yes.
Alright, so 14 for the first, and what about the second?
Let me just roll a 3d6.
Yes, for the silver.
No, just for the weapon itself.
Okay.
12.
And roll the
Oh, I think I get. I'm sorry, I do have a damage bonus, so it's 3d12 plus. It looks like that's just it.
It's based on body size. It's based on your body size.
Yes. So yes, a 3d6. So
That makes the most sense.
yes. So 14 and 12. There is a bleed a chance, but I imagine this thing doesn't bleed.
I mean, you see it begin to, like, as you slash at the undulating stem, you see it start oozing acid
Yes,
out of
yes.
it. It's and starts to slow and fall ground. The one that you just.
Should I roll my bleeding damage? Bleeding percent?
No, because it doesn't bleed.
I didn't think so. All right, good. And I'm just like, they're here. They're friends here, popping for the ground. Anyone? Lord Razmir? Like, as I slash at it.
That one seems to collapse in on itself as you do so.
Yeah, I don't step on it, you know.
Yeah, it's oozing acid. It's not
blood,
pleasant.
yes, it's no good.
Then that leads us to Arzo. You're trying to grab the body.
Yep, and move as much speed as I can.
Well, you're in the hall, and now there
It's
was a. Yeah, you're kind of penned in. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just hit this button, see what happens when I do.
Can I move enough to get out of the door so we could shut the cage?
Yes.
Cage door? Yeah. So I'll do that. And I'll set the corpse down against the wall.
Okay.
And prepare myself for
Prepare yourself to be cool. So there's the unmoving, oozing acid pile to the south, which is the end of the direction that you didn't come from, because you came in from the north and then going to this. So that's towards the end of the hall. That's the one where Lord Math is. There's the one that you can't see, and then there's the one that's to the north. Durin, you can close the door now.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Doors slam shut. Spin around. You said this corridor is tight, correct?
Yes. It's built for dwarves, not for humans. But it is
Yeah.
only built. But it's also intentionally built to be like it's a prison,
Narrow.
so you want
Single
it.
file. Okay. So, moving to the north side, setting the piece down, a vase down as cover.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll take cover behind it. That should be like all the actions that I can take in this way.
Yep. That would be all of the actions you can take. This round. So, with that,
What does Mesmo do?
it's- Yes, what is the question? What is Mesmo doing? Arzo, what are you going to do with Mesmo?
He's dodging.
He's going to dodge. He's just going to take the dodge action to defend himself against spit.
I feel like what he's blocking is foolish.
I mean,
Unless you have a Pavis.
a Pavis is useful. Much more than a tower shield, just telling you.
Oh my gosh. This guy.
But he hasn't been
He's
attacked yet.
not meant for war.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
He's not. Purga has stats for war. Mesmo doesn't. Cool. So he's taking the dodge action. So first things first, the friend to the north who sees Mesmo attempting to dodge, thinks that Mesmo is a nice tiny snack, is going to attempt to eat Mesmo. Attempting the
How
eating
is
of
this
the
thing getting past me though?
Because it popped out in the hallway. There's
It's
three
in,
of
there are
them.
two in the hall, so there are two in either end of
Yeah.
the hall, and there's one in the.
So there's the one that's the south, which is the one that got hit,
yeah.
and then the
It is
north
dead.
one, which I'm in front of.
Oh, you.
How's
Oh,
it
yes.
getting
Sorry.
past me?
No, you are correct. It will not try and get past you, which means it's going to try and do something else, actually. You see it spin and spin and spin and pull down. And then you happen to see that there's something large, about, the size of a football, start pulsing. I need everybody to make me a DC 14 reposition athletics check, please. By the way, Gimner, well, that doesn't matter. So
what is the difficulty?
14.
14.
I'm gonna use 4 of my luck.
Well, Ardzo, you succeeded with a 20.
Second Ardzo, one is Mesmo.
Mesmo is
14 on the dot.
yes.
16. Yes.
So all of you kind of duck behind the Plavis as the football-sized seed pod explodes and sends shrapnel all down this corridor. And the Plavis is going to take 5 points of ablation damage.
Yep.
From the... And you see it's dripping, and you see that little bits of acid still.
Mm-hmm. It's still got 26 points of stopping power.
Yeah.
A dwarven Pavis is not a bad thing to have, as I've said. And then...
Nilfgaard, eat your heart out.
Nilfgaard doesn't even exist beyond the pissant little backwater at the moment.
And what did Arzo do this turn? This round?
He moved out of the doorway so you could close the door, and then
And
put down
dropped.
Gimner
Yeah.
and prepared to defend. Then our other friend is going to come up behind
The big
Math.
one, right?
Yeah. They're all between 2 and 2.5 meters tall. And it is going to attempt to bite Math.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is not a shield.
And I need the second defense is -1 or -3? -1.
-1. The additional action is -3. The additional defense is -1 in stamina. Yes. Oh, a spellcaster who has to pay attention to stamina.
Well, I just feel like even if I weren't, I'd still pay attention because I care.
Yes, it is important. I mean, stamina is a stat in this game that is important. Also,
Mary.
hey Johnny, we need to get you on this table. Just saying.
I know.
So it's a 16 against Math. It's not a great roll.
Dodge. I have 2 luck. I'm not going to spend it. 22.
Cool.
Math is sort of lanky and slippery. Math's a little tricksy. Math's like, no. It's at me. Lord Razme.
So now, top of the round, Razmi.
Actually, it's
No, it's Ardzo. It's Math, because
Yeah. I reset.
You
Because
reset.
the door.
and I actually rolled highest anyway. Yeah.
oh yeah,
and
sorry,
he-
that's right. I'm sorry, I kept doing that. My apologies, Trooper.
Oh,
That
no
is my
worries.
fault.
No worries. And he there's this like look like my meat shields are not doing any damage. So he's going to go and do a fast strike on the one that just tried to bite him.
Yep.
And that will be a 16 and a 17.
Okay. It
20 for the first. And
it slides into your second attack.
12 damage.
It does not like it. It starts oozing acid, and your sickle now will take 3
One, yes?
points of ablation
Oh,
or
so it does
reliance.
extra.
No, it's going to damage your reliance,
Yeah. So it does extra.
reliability.
Yeah.
Huh?
It does extra damage.
This particular one does.
Yeah. And I'm going to move behind Razmi. It's like Razmi
So
has a job to
wait. So
do.
you're gonna move behind Razmi, Because Razmi's standing with the shield pointed at the other one, so you're going to come around and...
Oh, so we're just stuck in that space. I'm going to move back in the cell, right? I'm trying because I'm like,
So you're going to open the door and slide into the cell?
Oh, he shut it down, right? Yeah. Well, I think I don't think I can do anything. I don't think I have any movement because there's nowhere to go.
It's almost like I set this up so it would be like a raid fight sequence because I love that movie. Scrolling.
So let me make sure right now the people who are tanking are myself and Razmi, and Ardzo and Mesmo are in between us. Is that correct?
Yep.
Uh-huh. And I'm just like, I think I'm like, I mumble something underneath my breath that is probably offensive, but I don't think they can hear it.
So Razmi.
Mm-hmm.
No, then it goes to Ardzo.
Is he in striking distance within any?
You can make yourself in striking distance with the one that's to the south that's attacking Math. It's larger than the other two that you've seen so far.
Right. I'll charge in with my little baby dwarven cleaver.
All right, roll the attack, please. And thank you.
I gotta say, if I would have known that one was going to attack, then I would have given him my magical gifts. Like just sort of like that, sort of like a little mumbling about myself about yes. Just cool.
Oh my, double crit
Fails.
double bad. Wow.
But you don't know, like they might fail badly.
So the 16 succeeds.
But they also are getting, that person also is dealing with, they've had to they've already dodged, they're losing stamina because I already attacked that one twice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
So that's something.
It's a different issue.
Yeah.
It's a
But
plant.
it did get hit by the second one.
It does get hit by the second one. So go ahead and roll your damage for once for that cleaver.
Okay. Oh, that's expensive. Here's the role of a healer. I haven't had to roll damage in such a long time.
21.
Nice.
Oh.
Is it nice?
I don't like that.
Arzo.
Am I gonna get acid?
I
Well,
don't
you
like
are
this.
going to get acid, but that's a secondary issue that we'll deal with in a minute. Arzo. This is alive and sentient.
Oh no. Do it. That's fine. Yeah.
We'll come to that in a minute. Hey, Arzo, your cleaver is going to take 1d6 of acid against its reliability. So, 5. I'm rolling really well on the, reliability and ablation.
So it's at 10 now.
Yeah, so its reliability goes down.
Yeah.
And when your reliability gets to 0, the weapon breaks.
Breaks.
Yeah.
Also fun rules that are in this game and system.
Love it.
Yep.
Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag should be sponsored.
Yep.
You want to take that up with Jay and the people at Artal, I will happily let you. They're wonderful
in our
people.
hearts.
I
They
got
sponsored in our
nothing
hearts.
to lose.
They are wonderful people.
Sponsored in their hearts.
They are. So then it's Mesmo's turn. And then Razmi. And then
Yep.
The 2 existing ones.
Mesmo, what do you want Mesmo to do? He's standing around right now.
I think I just say, "Good job, Lorazzo," as he sort of rushes by me, and I'm like, just yeah.
As this this large one begins to solve and dissolve, and now you've got 2 large puddles of acid behind you that are seeping and growing. Just throwing it out there. Eating into the floor. Ardzo, what would you like Mesmo to do?
What weapons? Like, does he have the same
It's a big
weapons
axe.
as me?
He has an axe. He has a very large axe. Which we
Is
I'll
it a
have,
dwarven axe? I have
Yes.
the stats.
Yes.
cool.
Okay,
I'll
dwarven axe,
have,
+3 accuracy, and it is 5d6 +3.
For damage. But you have to make the
Yeah.
attack, and we'll let you roll the attack.
okay.
So
So that'd be
essentially it's melee +3.
swordsmanship? Melee Arzo sucks at melee.
No, yeah.
You want me to roll my small blades? Because I have bonuses in that.
Yeah, you can roll his small blades.
Yeah.
He would have the bonuses to the melee.
Yeah.
Because he's got a big ol' axe. He swings off of his shoulder and kind of like positions himself around the Pavis to attack.
Nice.
So add 3 to both of those. So 26 and 28. Have fun.
16 and 20, both of those fail. Both of these will take damage.
Extra damage.
So 5d6 +3 normally.
Yeah, just roll one of those. Roll one first. They're not very big. Five d6 plus
Oh,
3.
no, sorry. I don't know what that was. Sorry.
1d6.
So 17.
So 17, and then roll the second one. Roll it again.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Those are
5d4.
d4s.
Oh, shit. Okay, sorry.
There you go.
19. You
+3 is
20.
22.
Yeah, so Mesmo comes around and spins the axe and just slices through what would be the stalk of this undulating plant, and it begins to collapse. His axe is going to take damage, 1 point of reliance damage. But now you have acid growing on the floor. You don't see anything else. And Ardzo, you need to make me a roll, don't you?
Yep.
Ardzo, you killed something.
Well, I didn't know it was sentient. Resist coercion.
I'm double checking our
Notes.
notes about this thing. And, yes.
Ooh.
You feel the call, but you can survive and resist for now. But you know that tomorrow night resistance is futile.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does he get any minuses to that roll?
He gets minus to that roll every time he kills something.
No. Does he get any additional minuses to the roll? I'm asking because I do have my strange totem on me.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I just thought it would be important to note that because I didn't want to,
I forgot to ask you about that. I have other rules for that. So yes,
I always keep my strange totem on me because it's like, I like strange, weird things.
But it wouldn't be enough to fail the DV that we've established. It would bring you down within 1 point of failing, but you would not fail.
Billy, I'm only being fair, and it's because I care about you.
Billy's look right now is like,
look, I'm here for Billy. I'm here to support Billy.
You want
And
Billy.
sometimes
You want Ardzo to go into a giant feral rage inside the walls of Mahakam.
Between pools of acid in a
Think
narrow hallway.
Think about the RP options right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here for him and for RP.
You resist the call tonight, but you don't know that, and you know that you can't resist the call tomorrow. Ardzo, I have one last thing I need you to do for me.
Dance.
No. See, this is the other side. On one hand, you killed something that was sapient and sentient. On the other, that was a plant. So I do need the additional roll. I was going to call for it anyways. Because, yeah. Remember, who hated you so much, well, your entire bloodline, curse you. And, why did they curse you, did you discover?
So what was, yes, do I roll the same thing again?
You're gonna roll the same thing again, but you get a -4 penalty because Math is there carrying a totem of
A strange totem.
a strange totem. I think we need a music change, everyone.
I did not carry this strange totem to deliberately upset somebody. I just always have it on me because it's my good luck totem. It makes
Yes,
everything
well,
better.
it's a luck totem. I don't know how good it's going to be. As, Ardzo, at first it feels like you were going to resist the call, the dark, pulsing nature of your inner beast. But then you see just this remains of a plant lying there that overwhelms your senses. And you begin the shift here. What does this look like? We haven't seen this in a while.
Um, uh, you'll see him double over on the ground, probably in some acid, but you'll hear like the cracking of his bones as they start to kind of elongate. You'll see the sinew and the muscles start to expand, and the clothes that he was wearing that he liked and took care of, his you see his abdomen start to get larger and larger, and which rips the seams of his pants and his frilly white shirt, until they're nothing but tatters, and the uh, fibers of fur start to elongate out of all parts of his body, um, and his while he's shrieking in pain at his bones breaking, his teeth start to sharpen and elongate, and his mouth starts to froth. And then, as he's doubled over in pain, he starts pressing up off of the ground with his knuckles in a weird um, quadrupedal stance. And before he lets himself go completely, in a very low and guttural tone, run.
Yay!
What are the rest of you going to do?
Listen. We're very good at listening. And so it's time to run, time to hide, break on through to the other side. So it is quickly forward down that hallway, waiting beside the door for the others to get through. And a lot of what we're doing today, which is just waiting on others to get through doors and then shutting them.
Mesmo has this moment of where he's holding the axe. He doesn't quite know what's going on, but you told him to run, and Durin ran. So he grabs the axe, reaches down, and grabs Gimner because Durin is Mesmo is not. He's a dwarf. He's got the physique. He picks him up, and then proceeds to run down the hallway. Math, you do.
Ooh, top of the round, yes. Lovely. There are two of these creatures still alive. One damaged,
No, none
one...
of them. Both of them are dead.
Oh,
Everything's dead, except for where thing that's turning into a creature right in front of you that just told you to run.
Oh. I would say interesting is what I say. I would like to roll. I think it would be, what is the skill? What is the skill? Is it wilderness survival? Because I don't think there is an animal handling. Is that correct?
There is a ride for if you wish to handle
No.
animals,
I
that
don't
kind of
wanna-
animal, but
I
no,
don't wanna-
there isn't a animal handling. It would be wilderness survival.
Okay. I would
Um,
like to roll wilderness survival.
To do what?
What I want to do is I want to calm our savage beast friend, is what I would like to do. It's like a, because I feel like persuasion, like that's not gonna be the one. So I feel like I'd like to use like it's like a social situation, but I imagine you probably would have to use wilderness survival rather than persuasion or intimidation or some such.
You're going to attempt this. You may attempt it.
I would like to, yes. And I'm gonna go, ooh, look at that there, big fella. It's all right. It's all right. Look at me. Look at me. We're friends. We're friends. I understand you. It's all right. Because the thing is, I really like monsters. They're my friends. So I'm going to try to make friends with this monster. I like monsters way better than I like other ones. You know what I mean? Those ones are less exciting, but monsters are very exciting. I mean, like, come on. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Your friends, calm down. Calm down. It's all right. You can control this. It's not so bad.
Ardzo, I need the wilderness survival from you.
21.
Ardzo, your other sheet,
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
that's a resist coercion off of your other sheet.
Yeah, let me pop that out real quick.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
It's
Should have
all
had it
right.
ready.
It's all right. It's all right, friend. It's all right, friend. It's all right. It's all right. It's
Wait.
all right.
You begin to feel something, and you think it's calming, it's slowing. This
And
individual seems like a friend. And
I don't think
then-
anybody else would have ever seen Math this genuinely empathetic before, if that makes any sense. Like, actually, there's an actual sense of, I mean, there was a bit when he was talking to Purga, but here you have like a sense, and when he talks to his wife, you can hear it, but this is a sort of like a kind of a care that you probably have not, just does not, does not happen often.
But you still turned, Arzo. And Math. That little thing that you're carrying
Mhm.
breaks your concentration. It seems to heat instantly and scream in your mind. Stop.
Stop. What does that mean?
And interferes. So, well, you had an effect for one round, it does not continue.
So this is just, I'm thinking of this as like a social combat is what I'm thinking of this of. So I'm
Yes,
trying
it is. It can be the beginning of a social combat, but there's somebody else that's involved that doesn't
to, yeah. And I'm like,
like what you're doing.
and I just say, what? Stop what? I just say out loud because I don't know anybody's history. And I just say out loud, what? Stop what? That's just you don't know who I'm speaking to, but that's what I say.
Durin and Mesmo, Durin, you're holding the door.
I'm waiting and like, fuck is taking so long?
Mesmo has
can
gotten
see
to
us.
the door with the body. He's through the door, and he looks back and's like, "Get out!"
So we're going to see for the first time Durin's big toy
Mhm.
as the dwarven heavy crossbow gets lifted.
Ooh. Ooh.
Pulling back on a blunt, and then why he brought the Pavis today.
Yep.
As I
Yes.
step back in,
To act as the bodyguard with the Arzo,
Mm-hmm.
you know that problem you have when you turn now?
Which one?
Oh, you know, the one where you cannot differentiate friend from foe.
Right.
Was that cleared with the spell from Javik back when our secondary curses were used to fuel the power of the spell when Kadarn sort of redirected?
Portions of it were.
Yeah.
So is this the
It's
type of
the
turning?
the feral aspect always applies if he turns outside of.
Yeah.
He's always had a
moon.
feral aspect that outside of the moon.
Am I in control of the facilities, or is that not the case?
You were losing control,
Mhm.
and then you had this calming moment,
Which is in this turn right now. Yeah.
which is in this turn,
Yeah.
but you know that you will not have your facilities in the next turn. So you have just enough time to do an action or possibly tell them to do something.
And you can tell that, I mean, it's very clear to you that Map is not running. Like, Map is right there, eye to eyes with you. Clearly, like you already said run, and clearly Map is not running.
I'd like to run into a cell.
Actually, I mean, you
there
can
should be
open
open
the
cells.
yeah, you can open the door to the one that you guys came out of.
Yes, and then I want to attempt to make a physique roll to try to bend the bars to self-lock the door.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're using your new sheet, so there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
24.
Mm-hmm.
With a 24, you don't. I mean, these are dwarven steel, so you don't tie them in knots, but you can bend it enough that
Right.
it'll damage it and not be easy to open.
Right. Cool. Buy some time.
As we see the werewolverine figure fully emerge from this what was a dwarf. Nah.
Can I make a roll?
What kind of roll?
Well, I want to know. It's a vibe check, and specifically, I just got a message saying stop from one of my very best friends. I would like to make a roll to try to like assess like what's up. You know what I mean? Like is like try to. I want to like a.
By the way, I
Like
should
a
point out
deduction, maybe, or
you can roll deduction.
I don't know if it
roll
would be, but
You could roll. I would say deduction would work here. You did get talked to.
yes. So basically, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, my friend told me something. What's the connection? Like that's what I'm trying to
Yep.
figure out.
Figure it out.
Because I don't know. It's what 14.
The 14, it definitely seems like a friend told you not to interfere. You don't know why. You don't know what that could mean. But the lack of interference has been requested of you.
Okay. Because basically, I was trying to interpret the request to stop. Like stop what? Right. That was like sort of the question of like, oh
Yeah. You can interpret it to mean don't interfere, but you don't know why or anything beyond that.
So I think what I will do is I will stay here, but the thing is locked, right? The cage door is locked, but I'm gonna stay here. I won't do anything. I'll just basically hold my action to sort of be an observer because something's happening. that's bigger, and I don't know what exactly. So I'm going to basically make sure I don't step in any acid, but sort of stay here because it seems important. I feel like my friend maybe wants me to see this. I don't, I won't do, but I will watch. You know what I mean? Because I just I got a ping.
Let's see what happens.
It's like a hold my action.
Your friend. Leave it. And you feel the disdain with that sentence.
And I say, Lord Ardzo, I have been requested to leave the area. I shall do so. And you can tell that maybe Math wants to say something else, but is gonna go. But sort of kind of gives you a look like, and sort of heads down, stepping around the acid, heads down the hallway, sort of just keeping eye contact with Ardzo.
Who isn't there anymore. There's no sign of sapience or sentience left in that eye.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I like this one. This one's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Probably misunderstood. And so I'm going to head back, but just keeping my eyes on this one.
So,
but I don't make the words of comfort that I would have done if I had not been told to just leave in that situation. Like I would have said something comforting, but I don't.
Yeah, your friend doesn't like is if you heard the disdain in that conversation.
Yeah, which is why I don't say anything comforting. But I would have otherwise, because I like some things better than other things, and some things I might like. A
dwarf that turns into a werewolverine is probably higher on your list.
Dwarf that turns to werewolverine higher on my list than people who don't turn to werewolverines, but Leshen are higher on my list than people who turn to werewolverines. I have a hierarchy
fair.
Of cool.
Your hierarchy of cool is understood. So you make it to the door. The door's closed.
Tap, tap, tap.
In here.
Relax. I say, just there's clearly no hurry here. It's like he's locked himself in. Did you know about this? I say as I step through, just as if this is like the most. Oh well, it's all right. It's all right. Your friend, it seems, might be cursed.
You don't say.
Yes, it's my expert opinion.
And that is where we're going to end for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for letting me play with some very interesting creatures. Thank you for all of these good things. We're going to go around, say all of the wonderful things. Also, I want to give a shout out and thank you to both High Shelf Collective and Johnny Blams for those wonderful raids. Thank you very much. We appreciate them. We appreciate the love and attention. So we'll go in reverse order. And we'll start with Pope. Thank you for being here these couple weeks, Pope, for gracing us with your wonderful dwarf Durin Ramsey. Share some love, share some good things, all the good things. Thank you.
It has been an absolute delight to be here these last couple of weeks with Richard Crew. This is an amazing story, and to get a chance to be a part of it and to share a little bit of time with y'all has been an absolute blessing. And as for the business side, hey everybody, Pope here. Pope Robo on Twitter, Pope Robo on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams if you want to see more of this silly face. Well, follow these lovely people because I follow them around like a lost puppy. As tomorrow you'll get to see me grace your screens, should you be of the desire, with two of these lovely folks for Montreal by Night over on Wandering PM at 8:03 p.m. Eastern. And then back here in Praxplore as before you, that's a lot of words. That's why you follow the Twitter. At 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday for Song of Gapia's Fortune. And then be back here with the Witcher Crew on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and see more of this amazing story with these incredible players, these incredible storytellers, each and every one of them. And yeah, being able to experience Lord Math has been an experience. So one that is, it's a guilty pleasure of sorts, as it were. And then to be able to play a bit more into Arzo's history and the story of the Google family has been an absolute delight. As much as Arzo finds himself once again in deep trouble, unfortunately, and again, not necessarily of his own making. Like it's a theme, and I look forward to the good Countess coming back and having to deal with all of this.
Oh, it'll be fine. Just don't tell people. That's all.
And we still have to find out about our portal friends and what they're doing.
I'm thinking maybe I have an idea. I mean, I know Prax pretty well. I think they have, while we were away, took the time to portal into your shop and steal all of the blackberry danishes. This is what I'm thinking happened.
If Yanto could portal, yes.
I mean, let's be honest. No, Yanto probably wouldn't because it would be considered rude to steal somebody's food.
It's not a
Kadarn would
challenge.
do it in a heartbeat because Kadarn. He would portal
Absolutely.
and be like, "Oh, there's free food."
That is so Kadarn. That is so
But-
Kadarn.
Between our magical food thieves, which seems to be a theme of this tale. Yes, thank you all for being here and sharing this with me and allowing me to just have a fantastic time. So take care of yourselves, one another, and I'll see you soon.
And then the wonderful Arzo. Thank you, Billy, for being here. Thank you for playing. And we finally got to see the Wolverine again. Only took 4 seasons, but we got the Wolverine again.
Yes, thank you for luring me into a trap.
Oh, I'm just
A
here to
murder trap.
agitate. Just here to.
I was already gonna you passed the first one. I was going to tell you that you had to pass the second one because it's a sapient plant.
Yeah.
And it
'Cause,
knows I didn't have that knowledge as a player that
No,
those
but-
were sentient. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. And yeah, that was fun. I do enjoy the transformations, as a
Mhm.
player. I just don't want to hurt my comrades. But now, secret's out in front of my new friends. It's like if you have a condition and that condition is shitting your pants.
Yeah.
And it's like the first day in your new friend group. And oops, you shit your pants. Now everybody knows that you're a pants shitter.
Yeah. Everybody but Kadarn, if I remember correctly. I think Kadarn
Yeah.
still doesn't know.
No,
have
I think
idea.
Kadarn was officially told finally.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Because he was convinced that the werewolverine was sleeping
affair.
with Grant
Yeah.
was the affair, and then it was like, no, that's just Arzo. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes. That was correct.
So, Billy, where can we find you?
You can find me on the internet at Strength Saves, because it does, and we don't do the Wednesday show anymore. So here on Sunday again with all the happy fun times and stuff. Yeah. But also gonna recommend maybe check out a social media for 2 weeks and take care of you. Because a lot of the shit that you're seeing ain't real. That's it. Have a wonderful evening.
Have a wonderful evening as well, Billy. And then last but never least, the wonderful, fabulous Trooper.
Hey, I'm Trooper SCP. Woo! I was playing Lord Math, who likes monsters better than people. And because monsters are like way nicer than people are. You know what I mean? And so it was lovely to be here. You can find me. What is today? Today is Sunday. You can find me tomorrow over at Wandering DM's channel at 8:30 p.m., where Prax, myself, and Pope will be playing some Montreal by Night. And then you can find me. The next RPG I'm doing is Friday, 7 p.m. over at my channel, Trooper SJP, where it will be a 2-person RPG showdown with Laugh Love Lindy. We're gonna try to kill each other. One person will survive, one will not. And then you'll see me back again, actually, here on Sunday for, you know, more of this. More of this. And I just want to point out, Math was not at all like disturbed or freaked out by your changes. More like, oh, how interesting. That was fun. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to give my love. To, first off, the Pavis, the crossbow. Like, I just want to give some love to the kind of intense badass that is Durin, just for the note. And I'm going to also give my love to Billy for the present of Werewolverine, even if Archer doesn't want to do it. So I want to give my love to Billy for having a lovely time just werewolverining out, regardless of what Arjo has to say about it. And I want to give my love to Prax for just being okay that I reminded her about my exciting totem. That I just want to make sure everybody knew it was there. Just my exciting totem.
Look, your exciting totem also means that something else is here. That's why there was bounty.
I'm hoping friends.
It's a complicated conversation.
Well, my friends. I don't know about anybody else. And kind of who cares about any of
That's maybe it.
Yeah.
But as for me, hey everybody, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Dunlin on Twitter, or Prexagorth as Meophoria, as you see me around here on Twitch, your friendly neighborhood Prax. And you can indeed find me here. Well, I love all of this. I love all of these people, and they are far, far wonderful, and I love playing with each and every one of them. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for playing again at my table and having all of this wonderful fun. But you can find me next tomorrow with Pope and Trooper for Montreal by Night. Hashtag not the Ravnos' fault, and we having some fun. I didn't murder anybody yet. Admittedly, I was brought to this city and hired to do a murder. I feel like I'm underachieving if I haven't murdered anybody yet.
Yeah, you should work on that.
I have a whole plan. It's fine. It'll be a great plan. And then back here again on Saturday for a Song of Agapia's Fortune, where things were discovered. Spontaneous teleportation happened. They survived the stone juggernaut. I'm sure everybody is fine. Also, you will see below, there are 2 panels below that, or you can throw the links in chat. If you want to help support the stream, I have a Ko-Fi. If you would like to help, I'm trying to have an art fund going to buy character art for the Agapia's Fortune crew. I also have that's spelled correctly, Deirdre. An itch.io page where you can find all the games that I write. You can go play them, buy them. Leave me a recommendation, leave me a review, helps all the things. If you missed out on any of the episode or you came in on one of those wonderful raids, thank you again for hanging out and chilling with us. And if you want to check out anything else that happened in the story previously, there's the YouTube. All of the VODs are there. They're in nice organized playlists to make your life easier. And that's it. That's all of the things. I've done all of the things. I've done everything that you need to know. And I feel like we should share some of that love that we were given by raiding somebody, but nobody else is up. So we're not going to raid anyone. Apparently no one else is up again tonight. So instead we'll just say goodnight. Have yourselves a wonderful time. And until next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Do the thing. There we go.